Hi, well, quick little project. I've started making more bread at home, doing sourdoughs and stuff like that. And I wanted to create, and I've got a fermentation fridge outside, which I do use sometimes for fermenting things. And when I've got stuff in there, I can't use it because for proving bread and stuff like that. So I wanted to make a quick ad hoc proving chamber. So I've had an idea. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Very Heath Robinson, I must admit. So I've got a box. Inside the box, I'm going to insulate it all out with jam all that inside so it's all nice and insulated. Cut to size. Got a STC. I think it's an STC. What is it? WH7016E. I don't think it does the heating and cooling, but it's enough. I'll just like shove that into the side of the box. A few cable ties to cable. I'll just cable in that polished diamond while I'm at it. And I've got one of these bar heaters, which I'll just suspend inside. And that's about it, really. What I'm going to do is just going to cut these top bits off because I don't need those. And what I'm going to do is just stick the whole thing flat on the table, plug it into the mains, set it to temperature I want, and I can actually, all the stuff, and once it's on the table, I can stick it on the table, cover it up with this thing, and just leave it there for half an hour, and it's quite ad hoc, and I can stick it anywhere I want to, stick it on the floor somewhere in a room, and that will be enough to heat up and to set a proving temperature. I can actually get the thermometer head here and stick that into the bowl where the dough is. And what else? Yes, I may need to actually just set the temperature on this so that the hiatus is a little bit longer, because obviously that's thing's going to heat it up very quickly and we don't want it to and throwing too much, but we'll see how it works out. Right, let's carry on, do this. So what I've done now is just insulated the inside here. Basically I've just created a cool box, haven't I? Which is a cool box. What I'm going to do is get a bit of squirty foam and fill these little gaps in around the edge here. Let that quickly dry, and then I can seal it all up. Obviously the squirty foam will actually act as a adhesive as well, stick it together and give it a bit of rigidity. So yeah, this is I'm sorry if I'm trying to teach you to suck eggs, but what I've done is just squirted all this squirty cream, squirty expandy foam, got some here, like, into the gaps around the edge here to completely seal it up. And yeah, you got a complete. This is basically a so it's, yeah, it's just like a basically cool box now. So save a little bit of money, and it's just about the right size to get like a bowl in. I can get a bowl into this gap here, or I can get a longer piece of like a what's kind of call it, long batch loaf that way, like, you know. So that's quite good. So all I need to do now is I'm going to stick a maybe in one end here. I'll stick the thermostat in here. Actually, no, I might stick I'll stick a thermostat in the top here, and then vertically down here I'll stick I'll just attach the heater to the top there. And obviously I'll just do some wiring around here as well. So I'll give us a wipe out in a minute, and then I'll chip away some of this extra stuff I don't need anymore, and I may even tie the sides in with a few cable ties, just to make sure to bring this close and tight all together once it's all stuck together. So let's give it a half an hour to dry off. Okay, so as this has been drying, what I've done, I've put my STC device in there. The front's fell off at the moment, but I'll put that back on in a second. So that's all secured in there nice and tightly. Oops. And I just this is the power wire coming up and going through there. I'll secure that off with a cable tie as well. As with anything electrical, if you don't know what you're doing, read up on the internet to find out how to do it. If you never touched electronics before, go and find out how you do electronics, because you could end up hurting yourself. So So I'm just going to make sure it's all secured in properly, and then we'll look about getting a heating element in the top here, and also I'll secure this up somehow. I think I'll just tie it against the side here so it just doesn't get pulled out, and we'll go with that. So we'll put a bit of, maybe a bit of a loop in there like that, and then it'll be quite safe. I'll show you outside first. We've got obviously the thermometer thing here. Well, it's the thermostat, and here's the end of the thermometer here. I've got it set to 21 degrees, so if you listen to it, so that's the heater inside just turns off, and obviously as the temperature comes back down, the heater comes back on again. Let me show you what's inside anyway. There are a few wires down here, but they're all in a short junction box. This little thing is quite toasty. Like I said, I kept it away from the side there, and in here this part isn't actually heated, but it doesn't actually touch the doesn't touch anything. And I've cable tied this against the edge here. This is the thermostat. That's secured off. And down here, bit of jigger poker junction here. Better be careful, it's turned on. But anyway, we've got the black with the power coming in, and the white going up to the heater, and that one down there wide as it should be. That's about it really. Very simple device, but what I'm intending to do is to get a bit of, if I've got some bread, I will put it on the table once I've kneaded it. Put this over the top of it. Set it to the temperature I wanted at, and just let it heat up and proof the bread. It'll just sit there, be nice and toasty. It's obviously quite insulated, so no heat's going to be lost. It might get a bit warm in there, but I don't think I get that. I'm not going to get that hot that this unit's going to be affected. I don't think it's. I think it's all. This is quite heat rated, and it's not going to get more than what temperature maybe. I'm not going to set it to go any higher than 30 anyway in there. So that'll be perfectly fine. That little heater is all isolated on there. So one thing I do need to remember to do is when I do stick anything in there, is to elevate it a bit higher so the heat actually does get to it. But that's my little proving box. So I'll test it out tomorrow, make some bread and see how it works out. Got to tidy up now, made a big mess. So there we go, a little box to do some proving in. The reason I want that is because some nights I make some bread and I perhaps want to have it to make it in the evening and not have to wait for the temperature in the room to actually prove it, yeah, just so you want to get something done quicker. So if you've got yeast, which is most bread yeast would be is very active at around 30 centigrade, so it obviously proves and rises much quicker. Sourdough breads, they need to be about 35. So same thing, if you stick them at the right temperature, they prove really quickly, and they can turn that. It saves you a lot of time. So that's the reason I want to do it. I'll give you some feedback at some stage and tell you how it goes on. Right, bye bye.